you, the presenter, we've treasured your audience. The next step is produce your message. You've heard a lot about that today. Producing your message. It's all about the message. I'm going to add something to what Ingdan said. Firstly, the story is inspiring, as Sir Hale said. It's also a personal story. Don't tell someone else's story. Don't go on the internet and find a story. Oh, that's quite interesting. I think I'll deliver that. Because it's not going to get past the area or division level. It's got to be your story. Now, if someone can win a speech contest talking about riding a bicycle, do you think you can find a story in your life that is inspiring? You can, of course. So what is a story? What is the message that you can find? Now, in that bicycle story, his main message was get up. His mother was always telling him, get up, get up, get up. And then later in life, when he was in business, he had some troubles in business, that message came back to him. So you had a very, very clear message. What is your message? Like Jim Key's message, you're never too late to dream again. But actually, there's something else I've noticed from winning speeches. They have the core message, but they have something else. And it's something that advertisers use when they're advertising products. Do you know what it is? What's advertising based on?
Spaced repetition.
Exactly, spaced repetition. We've got an expert in the room. In other words, repeating something throughout the speech. I'll give you an example. Darren LaCroix, he had one word. His speech title was called Ouch. During his speech, he would actually use this again and again to reinforce his story. So he would tell a story about him failing at opening a Subway sandwich shop, and he'd go, ouch. Or he'd talk about something over here when he was trying to be a comedian, and they laughed at him. It's like, ouch. So find that key word, or I'm going to show you another one in a second, that you can use throughout the speech. And that it's used 6 or 7 times throughout the speech. I just watched the 2005 champion, Lance Miller. His whole message was about validate yourself. Validate yourself means, give yourself recognition. And he had the ka-ching. He used the metaphor of, again, this won't work with this kind of audience, but in the States, anytime you go and visit a company, you obviously drive, you get a little ticket, and then when you go to the company, they validate it to say this guy was in the meeting, they validate it, and then you give it as you're driving out. So he had this sound of the validation, someone punching the ticket. Validate yourself. And he's like, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And then by the end, he was doing the sound, and the audience were saying the words. Right? So he was getting some of that interaction going. So think about this, when you're making your message. What is that extra thing that you can add in there? So produce your message. Use the ideas that Ingdan have given you. Look to your own personal stories. Start from pain. What have been some situations in your life that have been painful, where you failed, that haven't worked out? Turn it into a speech. You may think that's a strange thing to do, but actually, that could really work. That the painful things that you failed at actually give you the best content for your speech. So that's a thing for the message. Personal story, inspiring, something painful, and then get it down to a key message.